but like at some point. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. It's the 31st of December, 2025, last day of the year. This year has gone by. That is a perception of time, I guess, because time supposedly is constant. And our perception is it goes by very quickly sometimes.
There is no such thing as time. It's a construct of our craziness, right?
I think you're right, Dr. Kiltz. I feel that way.
It's just a manifestation of our brain. We measure things, and if we stop measuring them, life might be actually better.
Please put in the chat where you're watching from. You might want to drop in what the temperature is. It's 35 degrees where I am. Well, 64 inside the house, but 35 degrees outside, which is not the usual for Central Florida.
I think it's like the 70s outside where I am.
And if you have questions, comments, put them in the chat. We'll try to address them. We don't have any additional guests today. Our special guest is
Dr. Kiltz.
Dr. Kiltz.
Oh, you're gonna let me in today.
Yay. I've got two announcements. So we are, because it's basically January, we're 5 weeks away from the Tampa Meetup. I put the link in the chat to get your tickets to the Tampa Meetup. We have, I hope I don't forget everybody. We have Mitch, Dr. Kiltz, DoctorNelson, Dr. Avadia, Susie, Marsh, Hattie is going to do a 15-minute exercise chair routine that anyone can do anywhere. We've got Susie
10 minutes?
Boshoff, 10 minutes.
10 minutes?
Yeah, 10 minutes.
10 minutes?
Yeah, 10 minutes. Maybe 5 minutes.
5. It doesn't have to be 15. No.
Okay,
no.
Good.
5 minutes.
Okay, good. Okay.
We don't have that much of a mindset to do 15 minutes.
Okay.
5 minutes. Again, we love it, but
we love it. Okay. We have Diane Ladd. We have Rachel and Joe, two crazy ketos. Oh, Scott's coming. Salter's going to be representing. I'm sure I forgot somebody, but
Richard.
So sorry.
Richard Smith.
No, he can't because I changed the weekend on him. But he will go to Chicago. Richard Smith will be in Chicago in July.
Okay.
So let's see. I think that's everybody. But come hang out with these cool people, learn, and have lunch. A fantastic early dinner at Terra Gaucha. There you go. Second,
right.
January 15th, we are starting to sell the on-demand version of the Kiltz Health Coaching course, and that is located in the Kiltz Mighty Tribe, and there will be an easy button everywhere. I will put that
easy buttons everywhere. Make it simple and easy for everyone 15th. To get online and be there.
Yeah, exactly. So you can become one of our thousands of coaches to be one of our thousands of coaches to help spread the word, right, Dr. Kiltz?
We want to change the world, right? That's what we're all here to do.
That's right.
We're blowing up scientism, and we're going to bring back spirit and stories and ideas through health and wellness, because the modern system is effing us up at too high a costs. Again, it's ridiculous. Acute care, that is really what we should have, but chronic care is we're dying. I'm going to send Alia all my craziness I've been working on. She can figure out how to put it all out there for me.
I will.
Ooh. Yeah, it's Happy New Year's to everyone.
Please put hashtag KMT for what is the prize for the last day of the year?
Oh, well, I said at Kiltz Digest that Kiltz Keto is carnivore, but I'm curious if they should get a 30-minute gift from Dr. Nelson, a 30-minute coaching call from Dr. Nelson. What do you think? I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone, anywhere, you can get a 30-minute coaching call with Dr. Nelson today. I'll put that in. So hashtag KMT.
It's a full hour.
Oh, it is? Okay, a full hour. Wow. Wow. I'm gonna put myself in the no, we don't need to put myself in there. You can give me my coaching call when we do our live stream in a couple of weeks. That's what we'll do. Live coaching call. Hashtag KMT for coaching call. Dr. Nelson. Oh, wow. Thanks so much, Crazy Chickie, for your super chat. All right. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat.
Questions, comments, anyone wants to maybe come in and talk to us, be our spontaneous additional guest?
I have a question, Dr. Nelson.
Go ahead.
Are plant oils an equal nutritional food as animal fats?
No. Definitely not.
Maybe add a little bit of the why part of it. I'm just curious of what your thoughts are.
So saturated fats, animal fats are not the devil. They never were. As a matter of fact, I was just reviewing something from the coaching course on that. The industrial oils, and there are some oils that have been around for thousands of years, right? That are plant oils, like you like to call them, like olive oil, obviously is mentioned in the Bible thousands of years ago. But most of the oils that have been industrially produced and come from sources that normally you don't look at it and say, oh, this is oil, have been around for only 100 years. And through very industrialized process, the end result is a huge amount of certain substances like monounsaturated fatty acids and polyunsaturated fatty acids that we haven't been consuming that for thousands, even hundreds of years. And they seem to do all sort of things to our bodies. A lot of research going on regarding that. They seem to be inflammatory. Oh, they do lower cholesterol, most of them, if not all of them, supposedly.
Is
But
that good?
Well, I don't know. Half of our brain is fat, half of that is cholesterol. Cholesterol is needed for the hormones in our body. Most of the hormones in our body, all the sexual hormones are definitely cholesterol. Vitamin D comes from cholesterol. Estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, cortisol. I mean, most of our hormones are cholesterol derived. Cholesterol is a building block for our cells, for the covering of the neurons in our brain. Our liver makes upwards of 5,000 milligrams of cholesterol every day.
So
I don't think it's bad, no.
So the plant-based oils may disrupt our normal cellular function, may damage our brains, which you say lower cholesterol. Has lower cholesterol been associated with Alzheimer's, dementia, and other mental disorders?
Certainly. And everybody, interestingly enough, when you do longevity studies, and you have to take all that with a grain of salt, but it seems that people who live over 100 all have high cholesterol.
In seeds and nuts, and other plant sources of extracted oils, could they also come with other toxins that may be industrially produced and bottled, canned, or in some case maybe bagged? Maybe we're bagging a human and filling them with oils, which may be, again, contributing to our illnesses. And how did science get involved in this? Did Procter and Gamble have something to do with it?
Well, certainly, I don't know if that's the company that started producing Crisco.
Proctoscope and Gamble.
So certainly, I don't know about the end process of the oils. They might purify them, filter, deodorize them, and the thing is, even if one of the arguments is these substances are used in our body, but our bodies have never been used to having loads of them. So a little bit of something might not be damaging. A lot of something might be damaging, basically, is one of the things that happen. On the lowering cholesterol, several studies have been done. Famously, 1968 to 1973, I believe, the Minnesota coronary experiment found that corn oil does lower cholesterol. Also, the people with the animal fats didn't have as many strokes as the people with the corn oil. So lower your cholesterol, you had more strokes. By the way, that study was never published until 40 years later or something like that, because they didn't agree with the conclusions, the preconceived notions that the head scientist of that experiment had. Oh, by the way, his name was Ansel Keys.
And he then was on the board, the nutritional board for the American Heart Association, which received significant funding from Procter and Gamble, which really is all a directive of the Rockefeller Institute in the Fletcher Report, which basically claimed control of the healthcare system, which is kind of like the prisoner of war institutions of World War I and World War II, which basically creates a control of humanity. What can human beings do in coming up in 26 in order to change their lives?
My suggestion is join the Kiltz Mighty Tribe and go carnivore. But if you don't, at least a very low carbohydrate diet, low plant diet.
Is a high fat diet actually more important than a low carb diet? Maybe.
Well, low carb, moderate protein, high fat. So high fat is the key for ketogenic diets, along with being low carb and no carb.
Yeah, no plant. Well, low plants, no plants. High fat, medium protein, low carbs. That's low plants. So
certainly, when you walk into the supermarket, about 95% or more of the things there are not real food. They're manufactured things that people put in boxes, bags, or cans, and they tell you can eat them. Just because that happens doesn't mean. And listen, a piece of chicken might be good. Popcorn chicken might not be. And we can definitely talk about that. But good morning, Monica.
Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, Monica.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, fantastic. It's 4:16 in the morning here in Arizona, and I'm in my car because the whole household is sleeping, so forgive me for the poor view.
We got you.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
No, thanks for being here. How was your 25 and what are you looking forward to in 26?
Oh, wow. 25. Well, I'm partially glad it's over. It was a rough year for my family and I, for many reasons. And for 26, geez, I'm looking forward to, I'm, I'm in a lot of different projects. I have my toes in a lot of different things. So I'm looking forward to completing some of those things and continuing with homeschooling my 5 kids. I have 5 kids that I homeschool. Um, Maybe get back to work. I'm also a nurse that is on leave. I left a couple years ago to be home with my kids
Hmm.
and hoping to get back to work in 2026. So it's set to be a pretty good year, I hope.
Awesome. How's the keto carnivore community and this lifestyle been working for you?
I love it. I went carnivore in 2022 after my last baby. I got to a point where I found myself to be so unhappy with the way I looked and just feeling so overwhelmed physically with the weight gain that I decided to go carnivore. And I was solid carnivore for 9 months and I lost almost 50 pounds. And I realized that the carnivore lifestyle is really the way that we should be eating. Um, so I'd like to say I carnivorized my family. We got rid of a lot of the breads and the tortillas and the things that we would do on the weekly. And I educated my children on eating meat, the importance of eating beef, fatty beef. We incorporated eggs into every day. We incorporated whole milk when we could get it. So I carnivorized my family, and I've been keto since. It's hard for me to maintain full carnivore for various reasons, but I've been ketovore since, and I've maintained most of the weight loss. And my family, we are just diehard meat lovers now, so it's kind of back to basics. I feel like I grew up in a European household where my mom was always cooking meat, and I mean she'd even cook like sheep heads in pots with you make soup out of sheep heads, and I always thought my mom is weird. She'd wake up in the middle of the night to make fried eggs, and I thought it was gross. But little did I know I would be headed towards this type of lifestyle as an adult. So I've loved it. I've loved the communities I've been in. I've been in with Bella, her community for years, and I got started with Dr. Kiltz a little bit after. So I'm not as active as I wish I was in the community just by being busy, but I love the community. I love the recipes. I love just loving meat and loving the beef industry and teaching children the importance of eating protein forward meals. And here we are.
Why do you think we focus on the word protein rather than animal fatty meat?
Yeah. Well, I know that beef is the has the perfect amino acid profile, and I guess we eggs have protein, milk has protein, so these are all animal products. So I think it's easier for people to focus on the word protein versus meat because some people have weird feelings about how the meat is euthanized, and it's kind of a wordplay, really.
More acceptable to the masses. We switched from carbs and sugar to protein, so we don't use the word fat because the word fat is so triggering for humans.
Mm-hmm.
And community wise, in your local community at home, how have others outside the family responded to your way of living, way of eating?
Yeah, that's a loaded question. Initially, it was just a lot of pushback. And what do you mean you don't need plants? What do you mean we don't need fruit and veg? You know, I think Dr. Chafee was the first one I heard say basically plants are trying to kill you and you don't need them to live. And I really had to deep dive on that because I was like, that's impossible that we don't need, you know, greens and antioxidants and enzymes from plants. But here we are. Looks like we don't need that. So that was the hard one to overcome, to be very honest. That particular issue.
And our children's children. What are your thoughts on how, you know, important this is in a future health of our children and their families?
Well, I can't stress enough how important it is, to be honest, because I feel like by being in a community that values beef, in a world that is starting to try to get rid of beef and trying to shove other things instead of beef down our throat, like insect powder and all the things that they, you know, fake Beyond Meat and all those things. I just think it's so important to support our beef industry here in America and showing the kids that this is probably the most important food that you could consume for a better brain, for a better body, for a better life, for ideal energy is very important. I find that to be one of the most important things is teaching our children and our children's children ultimately the importance of eating animal-based foods, especially beef.
You're a nurse. Do you think the nursing community can help foster this? Because ultimately healthcare is really nursing care. I've always said the nurses are the most important part of healthcare. And I know in my practices, the nurses run the place. And helping support nursing and the nurses in this way of thinking and living. How do you think we can help grow that and foster that ideas to get a grassroots movement to carnivore in nursing?
Yeah, that's a great question, Dr. Kiltz. I'm trying not to freeze here in my car. When I when I was in nursing school, I was part of the Nurses Association, and we would go and contend for certain articles on inclusion into the doctrines of nursing students. And I think we could start at the grassroots, to be honest, starting with the nursing students incoming, re-educating, making them aware of the importance of meat and animal products in the diet. Also, you know, one thing I've noticed that's kind of an aside is, you know, they still serve margarine at the bedside on people's trays. And I just find that outrageous, really. Like, can we just get rid of margarine already? Like, why are we serving margarine on people's trays in the hospital? Like, let's start with just whole milk and butter instead of, you know, skim. I remember learning about skim milk in nursing school and how 2% or skim they were saying is better for adults because they have less calories. And I just thought, I remember thinking like that can't be right. It can't be right that something more processed is healthier than whole milk. So educating us at the grassroots, educating the nursing students, starting there. And then they go armed with that knowledge of animal-based foods and the importance of animal-based foods in the diet. That would be how I would do it.
Yeah, it is. I'm sort of working on some institutional changes because we're institutionalizing and marginalizing through industrial institutional foods and margarine, which ultimately, we go to a hospital or a age memory care home or addiction facilities, which ultimately feed plants protein, low fat, 3 to 6 meals a day, and then a drug, a doctor dissection to sort of icing on the cake to the profits of the profiteers. And that seems to be the real mission, but not to fight anyone, to foster a new direction, to support the people that really can listen and hear from a simple story, because science seems to be a little snake oil to me.
That's the truth. Amen.
What type of
Dr.
nursing did you practice?
I was a cardiothoracic nurse. I did critical care for 9 years, and then I moved here from California to Glendale, Arizona, and then I did just float nurse, ICU step down, telemetry, post-op, pre-op. My first love is the heart. I was a cardiothoracic nurse for like 8 years.
Well, that's interesting
Worked really
because
hard.
I did cardiothoracic before medical school. I actually set up for the open heart surgeries, and I worked the pump bypass, and that was sort of something I really loved to do. What seems to be when you were taking care of these patients, was there any sort of specific diagnosis disease most of these patients came in with, like diabetes, hypertension?
Hypertension, metabolic syndrome, diabetes, atherosclerosis, kind of the metabolic syndrome coupling of all those things. But hypertension was one of the main ones, and then high cholesterol would come in with just an added diagnosis of high cholesterol, and most everybody was on a statin. Most everybody was freaked out about how much salt intake they were taking in and taking statin drugs. Diets, upside down diets, completely upside down diets. Standard American diet all over the place. I don't think I met one carnivore before I was carnivore. I can't remember meeting one carnivore like outright, someone that like said I'm a carnivore outright. Like I make meat my priority. I didn't meet anybody like that in California.
Is Christ and faith, do you think, an important direction? And whether it's Jesus Christ, Moses, Muhammad, Abraham, whatever spiritual religious practice, do you think faith and connection to a higher power is important for human health?
Oh, I personally absolutely do. Not only because I feel like if you do have a faith, you have hope. Hope springs eternal. You have hope for your soul. You have hope for the future. But in my faith, for example, as a Christian, the Bible speaks a lot about meat. The meat of the word is one thing, but also eating meat. When Jesus brought the damsel to life, he said, "Give her meat," and that really struck me when I read it with different eyes as a carnivore. So, for many reasons, I think faith is extremely important.
Do we have any comments or questions coming from the community?
Tons. Got tons
We
of
have
questions.
a bunch.
Let's bring them out.
All right.
Monica, thank you for showing up with us. We appreciate you.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Sorry it's early for this, but green runny stools normal on carnivore. I began in October. Thanks. It's never too early for poop talk.
That's not the only comment or question relating that subject.
Yeah, today. I don't have an answer for this.
Yes. Changes in bowel function are quite common as you transition, or even from time to time, especially when you got on a fast for 15 to 22 days, it can hit you.
All right. Good. Jojo, is it possible to develop low thyroid from carnivore or maybe similar symptoms, dry skin, feeling cold, thinning hair, carnivore 18 months?
More fat, more raw meat. Cooked meat, low fat. Most carnivores eat a low fat diet because they're eating rendered fat, which is not the same as raw animal fat, and they're cooking their meat that basically melts all the fat away. Look at Pottinger's cats. Do you have the book right there, Alia?
And
I
have it
do.
checked.
Check out the book. All right, and have it checked. That's a good point. Deep sea otter, what's worse, so-called vegetable oils or high fructose corn syrup? Which does what to our bodies?
Well, none of them are natural, right? We go only 100, 150 years ago, and none of these two things existed. They're both bad, I think. If I had to be pressed to say one is worse than the other, probably the high fructose corn syrup, but they're both don't have them, don't eat them. Look at ingredients if you're still buying things that come in a box, a bag, or can. Look at the ingredients.
There you go. Okay, Fuzzy Booger. What's the name of that movie about carnivore?
Is it Animal? I don't know.
Animal. H20 Studios. Animal, you can find it on Amazon and probably other places. Rick Perez. Krill oil lowered my cholesterol and my vitamin D 30% of each. Coincidence?
Probably not. It lower your cholesterol. Is it good? I don't know. I don't think so. And then it lower your vitamin D. That more objectively, I can say is worse, right?
I mean,
it's bad.
Oil.
It's just
it's krill oil. What is krill?
Krill is a little sea creature.
Right. So, I mean, would
like
you and I
shrimp.
eat krill oil naturally in our ancient environment?
Interesting question.
You get krill oil in abundance in your natural environment, Monica, in Arizona. Is it like you go out to your garden and you could hunt krill?
No, absolutely not.
Industrial product.
Next.
All right. Carnivore Jerry. Here's the next poop question. Oh no. Okay. So I'll just answer this really quick. When we do a live stream, each live stream has a different link because that's how you have to set it up. So I will send it to you.
I did write a comment on the.
Oh, okay, good.
In the chat, answering
Tim
her.
or Elke, don't know which, but what happens to the body to those eating low fat and higher protein versus fat forward and protein?
So proteins break down to amino acids, which are sugar-like more than anything, and they must be converted and delivered to fat. Protein poisoning and rapid starvation are common on a low-fat diet. And so, I mean, skin issues, brain issues, depression, weakness, and basically the same breakdown from a high glucose diet. High sugar diet, high protein diets are equally dangerous for humanity.
Okay, let's see.
When you eat fat, it rests the liver, which gives the liver a chance to regenerate and heal. But constant plant protein, low fat since the day you're born to the day you die is the reason for most disease. Crazy. Very crazy.
All right, this is the next poop question. So I think that Jerry's on day 30-ish right now of her fast. And she says, this is the longest time I've been editing fluid from my anus during this fast. What is it? Why so much ick? It typically stopped after the third week. Thank you.
So now the 4th week, I don't know. Again, that the gut. A lot of what happens is because of fasting. I mean, when I fast, I won't have poop for week 2 or 3, and so there's stuff still happening inside there, which may be microbial breakdown, and mucus, which is basically trying to clear the stuff. But is it normal to do 40-day fast? Is that a normal human gastrointestinal? I don't think so. But maybe just a high mucus is part of protection too.
And she is a superstar.
Absolutely. And when you think about it, I mean, things come out of all of our orifices, which it doesn't just go silent, go dark. Things are still happening in there.
Fatty food. Monica, thank you for sharing. What changes did you notice in your kids when going carnivore?
Oh, wow. That's such a great question. Well, I had a small baby when I switched to carnivore, and I started with all the 4 other children. I gave them the regular at 6 months. Started with the wheat powder with the water in the milk, and
The cereal
the
first,
vegetable
yeah.
jars, the cereals first. Just like brainwashed, not dumb, excuse me, but just thinking I was doing right because I hadn't heard of anything else. But with this one, I started her off on eggs. I started giving her eggs and chicken skin and the fatty parts of her steaks. And she is like 100 percentile. I'm not saying this is why, but she's always met her growth milestones in the 90th to 100th percentile, meaning she's big as almost 90% to 100% of the children her age in her group. So that's
How old
one
is she
change
now?
I noticed. She is 4 now.
Okay, and what
And
what
she's
else?
meat. Yeah.
What else do they eat?
What my kids eat. My husband loves to grill, so he'll grill a couple racks of ribs, and we'll just chow down on ribs. That'll be our main meal. Or he loves tri-tip. He's from Santa Maria, California, so he will make a couple nice tri-tips, and we'll just nosh on that for a couple days. And with butter. It's all with butter. And the beautiful thing about feeding kids meat is that they're not hungry in 2 to 4 hours. Whereas when I feed my kids, the typical bread, cereal, whatever I have, the carbs, they want food within the hour. They're hungry again, and I'm making food pretty much all day for them if I don't have meat available. So feeding children fatty meat gives you more time to do other things. That's one thing I found out as a parent. So yeah, that was a big change. It gave me a lot more time out of the kitchen, feeding them meat, fatty meat specifically, or meat with butter.
Industrial domesticated animals we have become to feed the mouths of the masters of the message. More money, more castles, more control.
Mm-hmm.
Time to change the paradigm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. You really give up a lot of control when you eat a standard American diet, when you eat things that are processed, when you eat all the foodstuffs they want you to eat, when you focus on the grains, when you focus on the greens. You really do a disservice to your body because it shows up over time in various ways, eating poorly and not including meat. And Dr. Kiltz, I wanted to say, one time you said something that made such a difference in my life in one of your interviews. I don't remember, a podcast. You said variety is like a killer, a variable diet, variety. And I thought, oh my gosh, I've never heard that, and it's so true. So I've tried to incorporate that into my household where we just stick to basics. We stick to butter, eggs, meat, bacon, hard cheese, milk, and we just kind of revolve around that food group. But I heard you say that about variety, and it just like blew my mind.
Yeah, we sort of all want variety and rainbow colors and everything. You know, it's sort of like being married and having boyfriends or girlfriends on the side. That will break any marriage. We know
Yep.
that.
Yep.
And so
Yeah.
ultimately, all this partying and different restaurants and all this stuff we've been convinced to go to the party store every day
Hmm.
rather than live that life of a spiritual, faithful, patient, slow as you go journey.
Hmm. Yeah, that's profound.
Yeah, I don't know where I heard it, but I was like, oh yeah, that's it.
That's it. Yeah, especially teaching the kids that, this whole idea of make it new, try new things every day, always incorporate this and that and this and that. It's nice on the outside, but it's a mess. It's just a mess, and it's not really sustainable. I mean, it's sustainable until your health suffers. Let's put it that way.
And I had a friend at 19 that killed himself, another friend at 25 that died of glioblastoma, and we see the suffering in our world at all levels. I mean, we're sort of living a somewhat, we see life in chaos, and then we do everything we can to control it, but there's so much chaos going around us, and how to change that world out there is ultimately to change the world inside of us. And I think this is where religion and philosophy and spirituality, I mean, for me, Christ is king of the story. The New Testament really is so simple in its methodology and its framework.
Hmm. That's right. I agree with you wholeheartedly. And not only that, but like I said before, the biblio diet is, I guess, what they're calling it, is it just incorporating animal foods and natural foods that grew seasonally into the diet. And yes, they ate a variety of things in the Bible, but these were things that were seasonal. And meat and fish seem to be the focus of every meal.
Right. And if we could go back where civilization, commerce and moving from one community to another, it grew our variety, which also grew our sickness. And so wherever you're at in your local environment, your diet is not varied very much. It's very narrow.
Hmm.
And I think that's where our real foundation happens. Even if you said looked at old world sourdough bread,
Hmm.
that even the bread and the meat and the narrow vegetables that we may have consumed, but we ate them with more fat and less frequent meals. No one's carrying a lunchbox around.
Hmm. Hmm. That's right. I wanted to also say, one of the first changes that I made, probably the first change that I made when I went carnivore, is I got rid of my cooking oils and I got rid of my seed oils. Um, and I started rendering my own tallow,
Mm.
and I started saving my bacon fat, and that is solely what I use now to fry eggs in, for example, or um, I use it in all kinds of things. I butter my bread with it, so to speak. When I don't have butter, I'll use bacon fat. It's so good. So just getting rid of seed oils was like part and parcel, one of the best things we did for the family, and just teaching the kids too, if they're old enough, teaching them why we don't incorporate the seed oils anymore, why we don't have the sunflower oil. I never use castor oil. I don't buy into the castor oil hype. I think it's poison, pure poison. But being European, I did use sunflower oil just because that's how I was raised. But getting rid of that and substituting butter and rendered tallow was one of the biggest changes I think that is easy to make for those that just want to get started, just want to make a change where you'll see a difference.
Alia, go ahead with that question, please.
Okay. Faith focused food freedom caring. when you return to a nursing job, what area of nursing do you plan to work in?
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a great question. I've always been a floor nurse. I've always worked the front lines. That's all I know. I'm comfortable there. I would love to get into labor and delivery type nursing. That's a specialty, and I don't really know if I would be hired into something like that at this point without the training. And I would really just want to get back to work as soon as possible. So I will probably end up on a cardiothoracic floor in a hospital. Hopefully.
I mean, there still is great care that going nursing is a great profession and important, and I think that medicine, I enjoy it, I love it. I think we have more opportunity to help change the world staying in that than running away from it. So, I honor you in the work you've done and plan on doing in the future. Yet the truth is the most important job of all of us is raising our children. And I think that that's something that homeschooling really is helping sort of guide and direct and minimize the propaganda, although it's everywhere. But if we give them a foundation, they always have something to fall back to if they stray away.
Right. Exactly right. That's why I decided to stay home for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Yep.
Next.
Next question. Let's see here. Jack Young Jr., your recommendations for a type 2 diabetic who stopped lowest dose of Ozempic 3 weeks ago and takes several metformin daily, blood sugar in 210s, ready to start keto and leaning toward carnivore.
Ideally, you should be working with your doctor to do this. You shouldn't de-prescribe yourself medications. I'm not your doctor. You're not my patient, but be aware of taking or stopping medication without consulting your doctor. But stop all the white stuff first. The bread, the pasta, the potatoes. Concentrate on your meat, and if you're eating some vegetables, cook them well. Or if you want to go carnivore, you're basically eliminating all the things that are going to contribute to maintaining you as a type 2 diabetic.
Should you stop alcohol and marijuana and tobacco and cocaine? Do we need a medical institution to help us stop that, or truly we're all capable of stopping on our own? And carnivore,
well, stopping the medications is what I was talking about.
Yeah, no, I'm just talking. Talking. I agree with you, by the way. But it's sort of we've created a world that we still need the authorities to guide us. And in fact, our ancient nature is like a lion, and no pain, no gain. And I would say Jack Young Jr. is absolutely carnivore, and fatty meat, faith, and fasting are the foundation. I am healthy and well. I am a lion. I'm a lioness, and this is the real direction for all of us. When was the last time you heard a doctor, Monica, in your practice of medicine, tell people to go carnivore?
Never. Not one time. Not one time. As a matter of fact, it's funny you say that, because when my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer, this was in 2005. I remember I was with her in the office, and she said, what should I do about my diet? And at the time, she was eating standard American fare, a lot of meat. To be fair, she was eating a lot of meat, but everything else, all the carbs, and she was drinking alcohol. And the doctor said, Nothing. Make no changes to your diet. And I remember thinking, wow, that is unbelievable. In my mind, I thought, how can that be possible? So it's so important what you said. People don't understand that diet is, their food is their medicine, and they're waiting for from the outside to tell them what to do for their insides. And that's key, is that we have it within ourselves. The Lord made us in his image, and we have it within ourselves to heal ourselves. My husband is growing his hair back, to give you an example. He's growing his hair back by doing hair massage. He's putting his hands on his head, massaging his head every night, and his hair is growing back. I'm watching it grow back. We have the power to heal ourselves within ourselves. And it's and it's working, and people don't realize that. People are seeking answers from the outside, seeking answers from the doctors, seeking answers from the teachers. So yeah, you hit that head on, Dr. Kiltz.
Terry says, family is the best. I consider #KMB family too. Yep. Let's see how many more questions we can get here.
Sorry, Alia. Sorry, Alia.
Oh, it's okay. I still have it here. Brian, Ari, is there anything you can add or do to improve cognitive health on the carnivore diet?
Is that for me, or is that for the doctor?
Well, you can grab it also, please, Monica.
Oh, well, my personal experience, I didn't suffer from depression or any type of mental issues before carnivore, but I can tell you, after carnivore, my focus, my ability to do longer tasks without breaking, my mental fog went away. One thing I incorporated is clean water, which was very important. So I no longer boil things in tap. I don't use tap to make soup. I use, fresh RO water from the water store. So clean water was important, I think. And then I've tried a couple supplements. One of the things that helped me personally, that I don't take it anymore, but I did try it, was ginkgo biloba. I did take ginkgo for a while, and I found that I don't know, I felt that helped me a little bit, but I don't really do a lot of supplements, so I did stop taking it.
Wild caught salmon, sardines.
My blood sugar runs 45 to 55 on my fasting, and I feel great. Again, we're chasing a number that we don't even know what a true fasted glucose is, because overnight fasting is not actually a fast, because you still have food in the gut for 99.9% of the people. And as long as you have food in the gut, that means you're placing sugars and proteins in the bloodstream that affect your serum glucose levels.
Okay, let's see. Carnivore Jerry. Oh, she says my bowel sounds are normal throughout. Okay, she's letting us know.
Great.
Is it just me that get instant joint pain if I eat something contaminated with seed oil? I normally live mostly on raw meat since 2023. Been carnivore 6.5 years, dropped 400 pounds in weight.
Congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
There are many people that develop pain with eating certain things, and this is not a surprise.
There you go.
Most of the time, it's plant source.
Yes, he's going to join us soon for a live stream. Oh, we already talked about that. Okay. Let's see. Chuck, why do we hear vegetarians will live a long life if they're not eating fat or meat as much as carnivore or keto? Just curious.
There's no scientific fact to that, because you hear stories that are published by marketing communities that are pushing a paradigm to keep you and I sick. It's just unfortunate that you get cancer on a plant-based, protein-based diet, but most people live longer, which they're all on drugs and doctors and dissections. So if you live longer on an industrial and a matrix-controlled world, is that good? At what cost?
Yeah.
And the keto carnivore world, really in the focus of lifestyle, I mean, it's a small percentage today, but it's going to grow, and we'll get more information. We don't know which diet you're going to live longer with. Probably has to do with kind of all the, are you a nice person? Do you have good thoughts? Do you live simply? And that's probably as much as anything.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts, Monica? Is that any thoughts on this statement that Chuck makes?
Well, I've seen lately a lot of these vegan influencers have actually gotten very sick or died. So
So sad.
I've heard personal stories from people, having been vegan or vegetarian, and that was the sickest part of their lives. I think Bella has a similar story from Steak and Butter Gal, where she was vegan and she was just a hot mess. She was acneic, she was bloated, she was just in a bad way, and that's what led her to carnivore. So I don't believe that's a true statement. Me, just personally, from what I've seen, what I've heard, and knowing the benefits of eating animal based, I know it's not true.
I hear that alcohol is good for you. That's a true statement.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree that alcohol is good for our children?
Absolutely not.
Is it good for adults?
Every drop of alcohol is toxic. Now they're going to tell you there's resveratrol in red wine, and that may be true, but you can also get that from a supplement if you believe that's going to help you in any way. But every drop of alcohol is toxic.
There's oxygen in air when you smoke a cigarette.
True.
What a beautiful day in paradise.
True. Susie says she can't wait for the Tampa meetup. Me too. I can't wait for the Tampa meetup. It's going to be so much fun. All right. Karen, based on your homeschooling, have you noticed improved focus and love for learning with your children?
Oh gosh, what a great question. That's a great question. And I can hands down wholeheartedly say yes, absolutely. Because first of all, they're not hungry every hour. And anyone who has kids knows they're hungry all the time. Children are hungry all the time. Most of my time is spent in the kitchen, just in general, prepping, making food, cleaning. But when I fed my kids mainly standard American diet, a lot of carbs, cereals, breads, bagels, within the hour, they were hungry again. And there was never any respite from feeding the kids, because those types of nutrients are limited in those foods, and they need more. They need more to sustain themselves. So yeah, definitely on carnivore, meat heavy, protein forward meals. I get more unbreakable focus with them, 100%. I would never go back. I would never go back to the way we used to eat. It's really changed my household's lives. It's changed our lives for the better. And I love the fact that I can take my kids out to say In and Out, and they will all forego their bun, and we'll just order, like, what do they call those? Flying Dutchman with the cheese and the onion, no buns. And everyone is like cool and happy with that, eating their their burger with a fork and a knife. Yeah, it's been a great change. And yes, definitely focus. beyond compared to the standard American diet for my kids.
All right. Thank you. It's time. That hour went very fast.
Woo!
You have
Well,
1
I'll
second.
see you next year.
See y'all next year.
See you next
See you
year.
next
everybody.
year.
God bless.
God bless everyone.
Oh. Well,
Now,
Monica left.
I am certainly convinced this is fixed.
Oh my gosh. There's no way. Sorry. Draw again.
He's won like 4 times in the last month or two.
I don't understand. Okay, Terry. Terry wins. Oh, Dr. Kiltz is on the phone. So there you go. Terry, congratulations. Email me, alia@drkiltz.com. You know how to reach me. But I would like and then I'll send you the link to sign up for the call, to pick a time for the call with Dr. Nelson. Awesome. That's great.
And to all of our brothers and sisters around the globe, a best in the new year. And narrow as an arrow hits the target every time. Simplicity.
Mitch has a live stream tonight.
Yeah. Oh, Mitch has live streams tonight, and I sent you the link, Dr.
Oh,
Kiltz. It's
what
at 9
time?
p.m. 9 p.m. Eastern, and you're allowed to hop in. Dr. Nelson's allowed to hop in. He invited me, and I said most likely I'm going to be sleeping, but
Mitch live. Well, might be me too, but I will hang out. Mitch live tonight.
Yeah, 9 p.m. I'll resend you the link.
Yeah.
Okay. So I made a StreamYard link for tomorrow morning. Are you going to be live tomorrow morning? I will not be here.
I'll be here. What am I going to
You'll be
do?
here.
I don't drink. What else is there to do?
I don't either.
I don't party. This is my party every morning at 6 a.m. Eastern time, USA, to share with my brothers and sisters in Europe and in
Yes.
Asia, right? Eurasia and really our 6 a.m. is actually a pretty good time for around the globe.
It is a good time, except for West Coast. But
I'll be
they need to
here.
get up. Okay. All right. If I wake up, I'll be here.
For most of the world.
For most of the world, it's a good time.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Have a great
Happy
day.
New Year. See you,
Great day,
see
everyone.
you tomorrow in 2026. Goodbye, everybody.